I thought we were saving our green stamps for a camera.
Oh, it's just a beautiful photo.
Can't you say something nice about it?
Nice about it. Probably took every stamp book we had.
No sitcom captured American tensions and humor like All in the Family did in the 1970s. Decades later, there are odd backstage twists and production secrets that still surprise even deep-dive fans. Here's a countdown of 10 truly weird facts about the show that just might change the way you remember it. Number 1. The Bunker's house was a real location in Queens. Let's go back to a place that felt so lived in. You could almost hear Archie's grumble through the screen door. The Bunker's house on All in the Family wasn't just some Hollywood trick. Those iconic exterior shots you remember? They show a real house at 8970 Cooper Avenue in Glendale, Queens. It's an ordinary corner of New York with weather-faded siding and a stoop that millions of viewers have seen, decade after decade. Since the show's premiere in 1971, fans from every borough, and even across the country, have made quiet pilgrimages to this neighborhood, snapping photos or lingering on the sidewalk, hoping to capture a slice of TV history. It's not flashy or famous, just authentically modest, like the Bunkers themselves. Even now, the site reminds you that the greatest TV magic happens when the line between real life and fiction is almost invisible. And as we step past that creaky stoop, let's see what other surprises lurked behind the scenes. Number 2. Carroll O'Connor wrote a secret ending. Imagine the quietest moment at the Bunker house. The laughter long faded, just Archie in his worn armchair. Carroll O'Connor, who played Archie with all that gruff charm, once feared the show could vanish without warning. So, behind the scenes, he penned his own private ending. In that secret script, Archie loses Edith, his lifelong companion, and is left to confront the emptiness and meaning of his life alone. It never made it to the screen, but O'Connor's personal finale proved how fiercely he cherished All in the Family's emotional core. He wanted to honor the characters' journeys, even in the face of network uncertainty. The show, airing on CBS from 1971, shattered ground with its raw honesty. But this never-filmed epilogue reminds us of the vulnerability hidden just beneath its humor. Sometimes the most powerful moments are the ones viewers never get to see, echoes of stories only whispered behind the laughter. And with that, the world of the Bunkers moves one step closer to what might have been, inviting us to look a little deeper as we turn the page. Number 3. Sammy Davis Jr.'s guest star cameo was improvised. Flashbulbs pop and studio laughter thunders as Sammy Davis Jr. leans toward Archie Bunker, planting a quick kiss on his stunned cheek. The moment, forever immortalized in the 1972 episode of All in the Family, wasn't entirely in the script. Sammy, a legendary comedian already famous for his quick wit and boundary-pushing humor, suggested a little improvisation right there on the set. When Davis snapped the photo with Carroll, O'Connor's deadpan Archie, the surprise, and the smooch sparked an uproar in the studio, catching even the regular cast off guard. What started as a last-minute gag turned into one of television's most rewatched surprises, echoing through reruns and clip shows for decades. This bold cameo didn't just tickle audiences, it broke ground, showing mainstream America how sitcoms could jolt expectations and invite real conversations about race, celebrity, and everyday life. With flashes of laughter still ringing in our ears, the memory lingers, leaving us smiling, curious, and ready for the next unpredictable twist All in the Family had in store. Number 4. The live studio audience was sometimes a lie. You could swear you heard laughter bouncing off the walls during every episode of All in the Family. After all, the show's opening always insisted it was taped before a live studio audience. But in reality, not every moment was quite as spontaneous as it sounded. Tight schedules or tricky scene changes sometimes forced producers to film without an actual crowd. When that happened, they reached for the infamous canned laughter, a warm, familiar hum added in post-production to mimic true audience reactions. For legendary scenes like Archie Bunker's rants or Edith's tearful confessions, the difference could be subtle. But if you listen closely, certain bursts felt a little too perfect, almost mechanical. All in the Family premiered on CBS in January 1971, just as homes were filling with new sitcoms and changing TV rules. Even a trailblazing series sometimes needed a little audio magic to keep the illusion alive. Yet those laughter tracks still draw you back to that cozy living room and Archie's rumbling chair, blurring the line between stage and your own couch. What other secrets might your favorite shows be hiding? Number 5. Gene Stapleton had to turn down major movie roles. Imagine the kind of willpower it took for Gene Stapleton to keep Edith Bunker utterly unique. While All in the Family was drawing millions to CBS every week starting in 1971, Gene Stapleton was quietly fending off some of Hollywood's biggest opportunities. Starring offers came her way, including a turn as Frau Blucher in Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein, a role that would later become iconic. But Gene knew that stepping into another part, especially in a film with broad comedic reach, could shatter the fragile, unmistakable Edith voice that viewers had come to love. Each "Oh Archie" relied on that distinct mixture of warmth and quirkiness. Instead of chasing a broader slice of fame, she doubled down on protecting the role, choosing character integrity over celebrity. In doing so, Gene Stapleton quietly shaped the heart of All in the Family. It made Edith unforgettable, while Stapleton herself walked away from the glitz of the silver screen. That kind of devotion leaves us wondering, how many legends did we never see, just so our favorite could stay exactly as she was? Let's pause for a second. Did you ever realize Gene Stapleton could have been in Young Frankenstein? If you could cast her in any famous movie, which would it be? Share your dream picks or favorite Edith moments in the comments below. Number 6. Carroll O'Connor was nearly fired over script fights. The soundstage tension didn't just come from the script. Sometimes it sparked backstage too. Carroll O'Connor, whose unforgettable portrayal of Archie Bunker fueled All in the Family's runaway success, fought fiercely over the show's direction and language. O'Connor regularly debated producers and writers, pushing back on dialogue he felt misrepresented Archie or dulled the show's biting social commentary. The battles boiled over in 1974 when O'Connor walked off the set in a heated dispute about scripts. For weeks, the set buzzed with rumors and uncertainty as producers, desperate to keep their hit on CBS, toyed with the unthinkable, recasting television's most iconic armchair critic. Ultimately, O'Connor's stubborn vision proved essential. He struck a deal, returning under terms that gave him more creative input. The show survived, its soul intact, thanks to a star who refused to let Archie become just another caricature. That stubborn spark kept viewers tuning in and changed the playbook for TV star power. Sometimes the stories behind the scenes are just as raucous and riveting as what plays out on camera. Number 7. The show almost got canceled after season 1. Underneath the laughter and the living room spats, All in the Family almost didn't make it past its own front door. In 1971, CBS executives debated pulling the plug after just one season, shaken by protests and ratings that would hardly turn heads. Critics called Archie Bunker too raw, too divisive, and the idea of airing politics and prejudice right after dinner was nearly too much for prime time. But that summer, something wild happened. Reruns exploded in the ratings. Audiences, perhaps emboldened by word of mouth, tuned in and kept tuning in. Suddenly, Archie and Edith Bunker's living room was the hottest spot in television, drawing millions of new fans to CBS. The turnaround was swift, and by season 2, All in the Family was a bona fide phenomenon, launching Carroll O'Connor and Gene Stapleton into household names. Funny how a second chance and a summer of reruns can change what's remembered forever. Next up, we dive into another little-known twist that shaped this TV legend. Number 8. The opening song was intentionally off-key. Few TV songs are quite as unforgettable as the opening of All in the Family. Every week starting in 1971, you heard Archie and Edith Bunker at the piano, belting out "Those Were the Days." But that famously wobbly duet isn't just nostalgia, it's a masterpiece of character. Carroll O'Connor and Gene Stapleton purposely leaned into those pitchy moments, playing up Archie's gruffness and Edith's nasal sweetness. The result? A theme song that sounds more like two family members bantering in their queen's living room than polished performers on a soundstage. Show creator Norman Lear wanted the Bunker's blue-collar authenticity to hit you from the first note, and the off-key delivery made sure you knew exactly who these folks were before the first joke landed. You couldn't help but smile, cringe a little, and feel at home, each sour note pulling you deeper into their world. And just like that, the Bunker's living room felt more like yours. Number 9. The pilot had a different name and cast. The sound of a clunky typewriter and a grainy black and white screen. That was the world of Norman Lear before lightning struck with All in the Family. Few realize that before Archie and Edith Bunker became household names, Lear crafted not one, but two pilot episodes with an almost identical premise. The first was called Justice for All. The second tried a new name. Those were the days. But those versions featured a different pair of Archies and Ediths. Gene Stapleton and Carroll O'Connor were nowhere in sight. Each try fizzled, unable to find the right mix of edge and empathy. Only after Lear assembled his dream cast for a third attempt did the magic spark. In 1971, CBS introduced All in the Family, and suddenly, American living rooms were never the same. It just goes to show, sometimes a classic is less about the script and more about the voices that bring it to life. The lesson? A show's heart can hinge on finding just the right actors at just the right time. Number 10. Archie Bunker's chair is in the Smithsonian. The threadbare armchair where Archie Bunker held court wasn't just a prop. It was the unmistakable throne of blue-collar America. As much as Carroll O'Connor's sharp-tongued character, that battered recliner told its own story of comfort, stubborn tradition, and working-class struggle. By the time All in the Family wrapped up its final season in 1979, our producers knew this wasn't furniture meant for a dusty backlot. Instead, they donated Archie's chair, and Edith's too, to the Smithsonian Museum. Sitting today in the National Museum of American History, this iconic seat represents the millions who tuned in each week, seeing themselves and their living rooms reflected on CBS. The producers wanted it preserved forever, understanding that sometimes the simplest objects can hold the deepest cultural meaning. Pull up a seat in your mind's eye, the hum of the TV, the rustle of a newspaper, the sound of an era's honest conversation echoing from that one battered chair. And just like that, the heart of Civic Avenue is still beating.